Yeah, but I'm going to read out the fire drill notice. Please note that there's no fire alarm test during this meeting, and should the fire alarm go off, we ask that you exit the building calmly and quickly using the stairway. Please avoid using the lift. Is there anybody that needs assistance going down the stairs? And if you could please turn your mobile phones on to silent. So I'll now read prayer for the new year. Dear God, please grant us guidance and strength for this new year. We thank you for past blessings and seek your wisdom, renewal and purpose to help us serve others and our town. Help us let go of past burdens and to embrace new beginnings with hope, joy and peace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So number 183, to receive apologies for absence. And to receive declarations of interest. So are there any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests by members for items on the agenda? Right, to receive and agree the minutes of the full council meeting held on Wednesday, the 10th of December, 2025. Has anybody got any issues with the agenda, with the minutes? As in, I've got one, and that was 4.1672. Have we contacted Rob Walker to arrange an update meeting to discuss developments of the sport and leisure?
We have, and we've got a meeting with Breckland on the 29th of January where we're going through the past to have a discussion with them.
So that's the one where it's the asset.
Yeah, and we'll speak in there as well. Yeah,
that needs translate, doesn't it? I was going to say about council and we were going to have to council them, but as he's here, that's fine.
Yeah.
I won't progress that one. Right, to receive reports from Norfolk County Council. I think we've got a council in here. Would you like to say that?
Yeah, I will do. Thank you, Chairman.
I literally just received your report, so
I pinged it through because I thought if not, well, I just have to try and type down whatever I say, and that seems ridiculous. So I'm only going to pick bits from it because otherwise I think it gets dull. Over the last few years that I've been your council, I know there's been lots of issues around the bus services in and around Swaffham. I'm pleased to say the county council has secured long-term funding, so good on the government. They've increased the funding for buses from 56 million to 83 million next year. And the only reason I say that is when people are pushed to get more buses in Swaffham, it does give me an opportunity to go into council and actually lobby on your behalf to try and get better services into Swaffham. And hopefully we can at least secure our existing, and I know I've got some funding towards for bus shelters on the Swaffham Norwich Road. So hopefully I think the county is doing its bit alongside others to try and encourage all of us to do a little bit more of, shall we say, active things to prevent us all getting ill and going into A&E. I should say that my daughter's an A&E nurse and spends half of her life dealing with people that have stubbed their toes and various other things. So we're just trying to bring sort of a bit of self-awareness to people so that instead of actually going in when you're not ill, we give the space for people that are genuinely ill to go into the hospitals. The other thing I just wanted to really ask about, I know I got a message from the clerk saying about the money for electrical, sorry? Yeah, electrical, what's exactly that? I've spoken to my officers to see how much money I've got left. I think I've emailed the clerk to say that I'm happy to support it. The amount of money I've got to support is 5,330,
Oh.
and a very important 40 pence.
That's
We'd like to put so hopefully if that's, I'll get Luke to send an email to confirm. That.
Thank you.
And then great help. Tick some of those off.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll take questions obviously on any topic.
Yeah, can I just ask you about the elections?
Yes, splendid. Well, as far as the county position is, we'd like them to go ahead. Whether they will go ahead is a whole different game. I've heard that Norwich City is ready for Norwich City. It's called for the cancellation of the election. Preparedness for local government reorganisation. And I don't honestly know what the government will do. My suspicion is they'll cancel them again. I know, yeah. There have been many conversations between county councillors about whether we just stand at appropriate times. So there's by-elections in May.
Yes.
Some I think will do that, some certainly won't.
No,
But time will tell. We'll wait to see what the government.
that's the second time though, isn't
I know,
it?
it's not.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they should have either been honest at the start and said,
Yeah.
you're going to cancel them until LGR, because I think they've themselves in the bugger's model now.
It doesn't reflect well, does it?
No, it's terrible. It is genuinely terrible. So I guess we'll wait and see.
Anyone else? Oh,
Yeah, William. My favourite subject, solar panels. It's been quite a bit in the press in the last few days about the different areas, and it's saying that Norfolk's virtually a capital of solar panels and all this sort of thing. Can we have specific acceptance from the county that they will not support solar?
I can't give the view on the whole county, but certainly when the leader came here to the public meeting on solar, the position was very much that we'd help fight against the solar.
Yeah.
I know the officers have written reports to back that up and defend the position, but obviously the solar will be determined by the Secretary of State. Once again, looking at I had a map sent to me of the South Norfolk area alongside the Breckland area, and there's this massive corridor of thousands of acres of solar they're proposing.
is that good quality farmland as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, literally thousands of acres spreading right across. We need, I don't know why, you've got the new pylons coming in, Norwich to Tilbury, whatever it is, or Norfolk to Tilbury. And of course, all the solar people are looking at that and thinking that's an easy place to connect. They put the substations in as they build the routes out. But that's still terrible for Norfolk. We won't even get the power of Bishop down to London.
No.
There's absolutely no benefit for us locally at all, other than spoiling thousands of acres. I mean, I'm a farmer, so I'm, heavily against it.
What are the MPs generally against them or?
Yeah, I believe so. I think across the board, pretty much from the Norfolk MPs are pushing against it. But again, I think the likelihood of the government not passing it is very slim. So it will come down to whether we can fight it on footpaths, sites of special interest, to try and just either delay it or fight it away completely.
And the drove one is now out for consultation, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the final consultation before it goes to,
Secretary of State.
yeah. So really, there's time this town and all the other places that are going to object them needs to be up in its game, in my mind.
Yeah, and certainly the more people that write to their MPs to push against it.
Yeah.
I know lots of people tell me they're against it, and then when you say, have you written to the MP? They're like, oh, no, I haven't done that. I think Terry Jeremy is actually a really good local MP for the party and seems to listen, respond, and actually fight for our cause. So if you haven't written to the MP and you are upset about solar, I would advise you to write a letter and let him know that we're upset about it, including the town council.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions for William? Yeah, right.
Footpaths.
Yes.
Has Luke spoken to you about Pickenham Road?
No.
Only when we had a meeting with him, we asked him about getting a footpath along North Pickenham Road from the back of the Sarries Rise, the new Barrett site, back into town. It's, I don't know, is it a couple of 100 yards, something like that? And there is some 106 money that Barrett's have paid,
Yep.
or pledged, and it says for improving the footpath network. And I doubt what they put in would pay for it anyway. But is can is that something we?
I can certainly
Luke
work with
should-
Luke to see what,
Yeah,
see what we can do.
yeah, because he should have had a look at it to see if it was feasible.
Was this recently?
Yeah, and before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
We missed the last meeting because of the weather, start of January, but yeah, I just sort of,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Raise
just
it.
happy to work with Luke
Yeah.
on that, see what we can do.
yeah, because it's quite an important path really that might give us an alternative route, avoid for school kids to avoid the dangerous bit where there's no footpath on the Norwich Road.
Yep.
Junction.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I'll have to go. Boys. William,
Yes.
I think you were invited to participate in a discussion about the relief road for Swaffham.
Yep.
And this is a perennial thing here. I think it's without a doubt, it's a big issue in this town, the amount of traffic on the A1065 going through. Now, it's driven me mad because in several of your reports, you have noted the Long Stratton bypass and what a wonderful thing it is, and all the cooperation of all the authorities in getting it done. And one of your colleagues, the county councillor for Long Stratton,
Yep.
who has campaigned on it for 20 years.
Yep.
Now, can we count on your support for getting something done about a relief road for this town?
Yeah, I'm going to be brutally honest. You can, as long as you accept several thousand more houses.
Yeah, well, we're going to get that.
But you're not going to get several thousand.
5,000.
What for swap?
Yeah.
So, sorry, I didn't to interfere, but we've had this discussion before
Yeah.
with Haygates,
Yeah,
and some of us might have been at that particular meeting 2 or 3 years ago. And they were quite honest about the fact that in order to help finance a bypass, we would need a major developer to move in and build at least 5,000.
but we're getting 3,500 with the new local plan.
Well,
Yep.
You know, and that's a start. Long Stratton was 1,800 houses. Now, how do you square that one up? I mean, what we want is not you telling us, oh, it can't be done. What we want you to do is get behind us and push the county council as hard as you can to get this through. I mean, it's
Yeah,
all very well. We've heard these excuses time and again why it can't be done. And now it's getting to the pitch where you go out on that road sometimes and it's impassable.
It's always busy.
And you
It's always
talk
busy.
about active travel. Well, you'll get no active travel along that road. I've given up cycling during the daytime along that road because it's just too plain dangerous. And we've got a map, haven't we,
Yeah,
that shows the incidence of accidents along that stretch of road, and it's just intolerable. So what we'd like is for you to get behind us.
I have emailed the county officer when you raised it with me last time, and the response wasn't particularly favourable. It talked about, I mean, I'm happy to forward the email onto the clerk actually, so you can share it, but it was very much around the last time it was debated here, or debated around Swaffham. There was a case of a lot of people in the town didn't want the bypass.
Yeah, and I think as John feels strongly about it, but I think if we actually make any representation, it's got to be as a full council than just one individual. Oh,
Yeah, I think one of the most important with the relief road or whatever you want to call it, bypass or whatever, I think is Bretland are working local plan, as you well know, and I think it would be very good for us to try and get them to at least mention it
yes.
in the local district plan.
Yeah.
If we can get it in there, I think we're one step up the ladder. You know, and I think that's a very important. It was in the local plan, as you know, about 20 years ago, and it was taken out. But if we can get it put back in that local plan, I think that would be a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, nice.
yeah, I'll come back on that as well. I think it's fair to point out as well that where we're talking about a bypass, people would have the same idea as Long Stratton, where it is literally a bypass and then fill in inside of it with housing. We're actually looking now at the way the local plan's going. We've got sites that and have been put forward that seem to be very acceptable to Breckland, where if we don't save a route where those sites are, then we're missing an opportunity. You know, it's possible that to instead of thinking about a whole bypass, actually thinking about linking up a series of roads.
He says they can go.
Yeah, which to us seems a different, slightly different thing, where, you know, you could be saying, if there's a plan there that says, right, if you're going to build houses on this, you've got to incorporate, you know, a through road that links up, and then eventually it will all join up, and we will have an alternative route to driving through the town centre.
Are you still keen to have the highways officer come and talk to you
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's very-
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
about the potential of a bypass?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see if I can arrange that, because then you can have an honest conversation.
Yeah.
An honest conversation to see where that plays out. I mean, I'm sure you understand, basically, obviously Breckland will deal with the planning at least for the next 18 months or the unitary takes over. And then, obviously Breckland has to deal with the application that comes in and can't force them to have a road through the middle of it that goes nowhere for decades. Unless they CPO the land or somebody compulsorily purchases the land to retain it, and nobody will have the money to do that. So it will be a massively complicated thing unless you can find a site right on the outside.
Well, I mean, these are things we'd
Yeah, no,
like to have a
Explore,
discussion
yeah.
on, and, you know, to,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll ping the email on that I've
Yeah.
got back from Highways.
Yeah, I
about
think
the,
we agree there's going to be a confluence of opinions about a bypass, because obviously, yeah, some people want it, some people don't.
Yeah.
We've got to make sure that we represent the population equitably.
When we had a conflict before, there were a lot of business people on the council. So we didn't, you know, the conflict might be different this time.
Yeah, I can't predict that. but
Okay.
We have to at least.
Yes.
Thank you, William.
Pleasure.
Right, Breckland Council, so we've had a report from,
Jacob's away. He sent in a report.
so anybody, any questions for our Breckland councils? Okay. I've just got one, and that's really because of complaints that have come into me about Theatre Street car park on last week when it was really bad and icy. And several people were saying that it's dangerous, so I don't know what the situation is there when the weather's bad, but it was there.
I think there is correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a grit box on that corner as you go into to 3rd Street car park. Now, who's responsible for
But there's,
grit?
We did do it. We're not supposed to do it, but we did do it. Yeah.
so whose responsibility is it? It's the people that use the car park. no?
The grit box is, we were just saying, is sort of for access for anybody to, I would have shoveled them. It's for public access. There's no nominated person to come along and grit the road, because as you recall, years and years ago, we had lots of volunteers in Swaffham that done the gritting, but we don't do those anymore.
Really should be a lorry go around and grit the car park.
Yeah.
So that's something they do on the park and rides in Norwich. They grit the machines. I think a shovel and a little few shovels are a bit big for a.
It's quite a big
Sure.
area, isn't it?
Really.
Mm.
So I think we should look into getting the council or whatever, the county council to grit the car park or Breckland. Or the regular lorry.
Big breakfast.
I don't know if they can get in there. Was there a barrier on it?
No.
There isn't a barrier.
You could get
It's
it.
Yeah, there's a height machine.
They can open it. They can open it, can they?
Perhaps we can
Yeah,
contact Breck and see if we can action that. Hopefully we won't get any more this year, but it's just I've got 3 or 4 people, different people come and say to me about it, so. Any other questions for Breck and Council? David?
Any movement on the 6th form?
You was gonna say that.
I can give you an update. I do give an update.
Yeah.
Every month I come here. And as you appreciate. I have reported to you that the discharge conditions are all working their way through. I can confirm that there is a meeting with Breckland officers with the developer this week on site. So we are tiptoeing, but we are moving forward.
Slowly catching.
It is slowly.
Well, we had an email through today, this week, didn't we, regarding vehicle movements and.
Yeah.
about
Yes.
that, so.
Yeah.
We know things are moving.
Yeah, they are trickling.
Nice. Judy, what's another one of our properties that you and I take an interest in is the state of the old White Hart. You know, when you walk by there, there's actually water coming out of the brickwork. I mean, whether it's been flooded, it's absolutely saturated. So how long is it going to be before that sidewalk collapses?
Well, the White Hart, there's an agreed there's an agreed grant, for, it was at the strategic board meeting a few weeks ago. And I believe it's spring that it's nominated for work for improvements, but there has been a grant agreed for improvements, not internal, but I will pass on your comments in case there is something happening inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? So we'll move on to the police report. Have you got one?
No.
Okay, so public forum, I'm going to close the meeting. Any members of the public have got questions for our district and county councillors or for the town? Any questions?
Thanks.
Yeah.
I want me
Yeah.
to stand up.
Yeah. So we can-
Refer to my phone because I wrote it down, so I'll make sure I didn't forget anything. My name is Peter Sainsbury and I live on Courtfields, which is off Greenhoe and Haspels. My wife and I walk our dog daily to the park at the far end of Haspels. Because Haspels is a very straight road with good visibility, many drivers exceed the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Yeah.
Once past the parked cars at this end.
Yeah.
Haspels is used by a number of pedestrians, primarily school children and dog walkers. The excess speeds that motorists use put those pedestrians at risk, I would contend. Now, I'm not an advocate of speed cameras or humps or chicanes, but I do think that the speed indicator boards are effective, and I would ask the council to consider the installation of a solar-powered speed indicator board to remind drivers of their speed and the associated risks. I understand that these boards cost about £500 plus installation. That's it.
So we've got a sound sign which we have on the Lynn Road, but now with the school, one county council have put one up. So we've now gone to our highway engineer and say, can we have to get permission to move the location? So we can ask him, can we move it to that location?
That would be great.
Down there.
I mean, they're solar powered, so there's no
Yeah,
installation other than just plonk
Yeah,
it down.
We've got one already that we battery and we could put that there.
So, if we're going to think about doing it down Haspels Road, can we think about Cly Road? Because I've had two cars plough into the front of my garden and taken my concrete posts out because I'm not on the corner of Orchard Place. My house is on the front, and literally Cly Road straight down, little kink where you used to go through the back of the paddocks, and kids just accelerate up and down all times of the night. It don't matter what. And I've had two cars in my front garden in the last 4 years.
Okay.
Concrete posts. So if we're going to do Haspels, can we do the adjoining road to Cly Road as well, or look into it maybe?
Yeah, I think what we.
Because that is a death trap.
What we tend to do is leave them at a certain location for a certain length of time and then move them, because otherwise people get accustomed to it. So
Yeah.
it's a bit- should have been very-
Safety, they have to be approved by highways because it's all about the distance and the, and how they are, and there's a corner, but we could swap and
Join them, because I even done the speed with the camera with the police down there, and that only lasted a little while, and then that went. And
We'll ask him about those two.
yeah,
I believe members of the public can't put that to the county council because they're the ones who have to approve it.
I think it has to come through
Yeah,
yourself.
it does. Yeah, yeah.
They're
yeah.
both terrible roads, both of them, aren't they?
Can't get horrendous.
The only other thing I'd say is that I think the bypass would be a fantastic one.
Thank you.
We all.
Any other members of the public?
Just
If I could say, following on from this gentleman, a few years ago now, I did write to the council about the Cly Road and how fast they were going along there. And I was worried about the fence in that end because there were actual children climbing through it and chasing after balls and dogs going through. And it only needs a car going at speed down there to hit one of them. And it will be awful, absolutely awful. And I did write in, I can't remember the councillor then who said she would look into it, but I know it was a lady. And I did ask her to look into having some sort of fencing fixed to the wire that was actually there now, because they go too fast down there.
They're coming off the 40 limit.
I think we generally got a problem with that because I live in Richands Road and we've got that.
Yeah.
That's just like a rat run and
It is,
We've got-
it is.
cars indiscriminately parked everywhere. Well, you know that when you go
We
by.
should ban all cars from Swaffham, really. Pedestrianise it all. Let's just pedestrianise it all.
Back into session again. Right, to receive reports from the mayor. Well, I haven't got much to say. It was on Saturday, the 20th of December. I presented Fabian Eagle with his honorary citizen award. That's it. So town clerk.
You had a report, nothing else to really say. Oh, okay.
Do I have to stay now? Seven with it. Thank you very much.
Everything is duly noted.
Thank you.
So the museum report, I was pleased to see the overall income increasing by 25%.
Yeah.
And the gift shop sales up by 30%. That's amazing. I mean, it's a brilliant shop.
It is brilliant.
Whoever's responsible for doing the science, I did too. It's
Well,
fantastic.
I think it's down to a good team of trustees, actually. They've turned that around brilliantly. That's all of it.
Done really good. But how many hits on the internet do you get? Because you're saying that there's quite a few. Do you count it that way and have to count it?
How many what?
The hits on the website.
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
No, it's,
But we're having a new website.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
getting a new website, so we'll get better information then, but it certainly is popular. And, yeah, it's going very well. So
I was one of the people who was on the inspection the other day and I'm amazed how well that's come on, you know, from the humble beginnings.
yeah,
And now it looks very professional, very well run.
Right, number 189, to receive and consider late or urgent items. We haven't had any, have we? And to discuss and consider correspondence. We've had it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all gone out.
So 191, to discuss and consider the Lamplight of Peaceful Remembrance Day. So this, I've got one of these. These German lanterns. Was it £55 for the lantern and the hurricane? Just
Yeah,
one.
was, wasn't it? Yeah.
So how are they planning to integrate that into the Remembrance Day? So
So if you want that list by 10:57, then go through to the 11.
and so other people will be getting this. It's just
No, that's open for the whole thing. The whole country can get,
it's a good price.
So do we want how many?
Yeah. So
How many do you want and
how many do you suggest?
why do we need this? Sorry.
Yes, for the Remembrance Day. Right.
Well,
That's where you think of put in the middle.
Well, yeah, so when everyone meets at the war memorial, I'd say a certain amount of people can hold them, councillors may be around in many ways.
So there won't be a fixture, there'll be.
No,
They're like an old hurricane lantern,
Yeah.
aren't they? Like the farmers used to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One.
it's a bit,
No.
well, more
you're
than
not going to see it very well in the day,
How
but
many were you thinking, did you have any idea about how many might be affected?
With, to be honest, looking at how Remembrance went last year and how many people turned out, I think you'd need a fair few to be able to see.
100%.
Can I suggest we get 10 then? Would that be? £55 each.
£55 each.
Yeah.
What's the budget like?
Yeah, good.
Let's think of the budget.
It will.
Okay, is it? So we can, what will be like?
Yes, capital.
In reasons, capital. Excellent. So it's 80 years instead of 80. It's actually 81. I know.
One for each decade.
I think it's
No, that wouldn't be capital, no.
Who would actually hold the things and will it be the representative from each organisation?
Well, each No, each would do their own. This is just for the town council. We don't provide them for residents and.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
You know,
There'd be councils hold them.
so
Well, I think every councillor then.
Same.
I think every councillor.
Yeah, but I think with all due respect, not 13 councillors turn up, do they?
No, but was it, I mean, my thought process is one on each corner.
Sorry, John.
Well, we're being popular, but
Yeah.
this is more and more merchandising
Yeah.
of Remembrance Day, and it get flags. It's just getting like a tea. I mean, it's ridiculous. The national flag, right? That should be flying. Poppies, good.
Yeah.
But more and more
Yeah.
things are coming along, probably made in China.
These are
yeah.
made in Germany.
Well, yeah, well, could just as well. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. It's just a merchandising effort. I'd rather give, if you're, I'm giving that money to them, I'd rather give it straight to the Royal British Legion. Honestly, you know, and I propose that. Whatever you're thinking of paying for that, give it to the Royal British Legion.
Right, any other comments?
Where has this initiative come from, or who's it come
From the Royal British Legion.
from?
Yeah.
So just do that then.
I thought.
We just do four, one on each corner. And then we're not,
propose of
Sorry.
else first. John's proposed first, so.
Yeah, so we've got to go with that. So is there a second if John's proposal not to buy any and to give the £55 direct to the RBL because that's where they're coming from
They
anyway?
can buy them if they want.
Sorry?
They could buy them if they wanted
They're
to,
coming
but
from the
I think they ought to use it for their purposes.
Expect that buy some of their own anyway, but
Got a second of that proposal?
I'm not proposing it.
No.
I think probably one for each corner, 4 maximum.
I'll second
It's a little gesture. It's a little light of life, isn't it? It's just,
Second it.
I'll second.
so you're not overexerting it. It's just a nice little gesture, isn't it?
Councillors in favour?
Yes. On each corner.
No. Well, I'm against it.
Against,
I think
yes.
It's not a good use of money.
So 192 to consider a request from St Peter and St Paul Parish Church for a £500 donation towards the cost of improving surface water drainage. So there is a problem. The main door, I can remember 2 or 3 years ago, I don't think it was 3 years ago, they had a massive influx of water because there was a storm and the water came right into the church and ruined the so they had to have that all repaired. So they are, it's the west end of the church improvements to drain it to prevent flooding into the main doors of the church, and they're wanting to adjust the first part of the path leading from Mandate Street and to alter the gradient away from the church towards the land drain and also to improve the land drain. Are they paying 5,000?
Yes.
So they're paying for that. So they want a contribution from us of £500.
Yes, and they also, the people who came out and did some work on them, did a favour for us for free. So it was just a gesture that we considered.
Can I speak on it?
Yeah.
I think that path is important because it leads off Mandate Street. And many a time people who probably park in the George Hotel yard walk over the main road to go down that path. And I think that does need to be maintained to a decent level.
I think there's no conversation about it. I think we should do it. I propose it. For what second? It's our church, isn't it? It's our church.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
So all in favour? Yes.
I think there's no talking about it, is there?
It causes a lot of disruption.
Yeah.
Yes. So 193 is to consider.
I just wanted to ask a question on it. I'm quite happy with what we've agreed, but why is the church paying for one repair and we've had a repair done for free? Don't we have a responsibility for all of them?
Yeah, but this was part of the church inside, so I think it was our bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
yeah, no.
We maintain the main.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
files.
Church
exactly.
yard,
Right,
it was-
fine.
yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, I don't know how many people have walked that route and gone down them steps at the end onto Mangate Street or whichever. It's they're very uneven and could do with a bit of TLC, I think, and a bit tidied up. I don't know if we can get the boys to have a look at that to see what needs.
Separate times as well.
Sorry?
There's a handrails.
Yeah, well, so the steps down, there's two sets, one where that part is, and one a bit further up where the other part set of steps are. And if you go down them, they're fairly steep and they're not, I don't know how many people have been down, but they're not really user friendly, put it that way. I think it needs just looking at, if you're going to do the path, I think it would pay to just get them steps as well looked at.
Right, to consider 193 to consider a request to support an arts council funding bid for a community-led festival, including the provision of an in-kind match funding through officer time to support the organisation and delivery. So have you actually read?
So this is no funds asked for this. This is just to be minuted so Joe Warburton can put in the bid for the funding to say that the town council support this as part of the CESA, the project Heritage and Culture.
And I think we should support it
Yeah,
because we
it's just a
have,
guiding.
I should declare, it's been sitting on the border that I should declare interest, not one vote.
so are we happy to support this bid?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to propose we support it. We've got such a.
I'll support, that's it, second that one,
Support it second.
and second.
And are we happy with that number of days? Is that okay?
We've spoke about it. We're happy, aren't we? Yeah.
So 194 to discuss and consider the outcome of a town centre ranger, which is now going to be called something else.
We had a working group meeting this morning, with 4 councillors, and we changed the job title to town warden. Is any councillor in the lead on it or? Yeah.
You can go, Bob.
Yeah, we had a meeting today about the street cleaner, which will work alongside Bretland. And whatever they do for their bins and road sweeps and stuff. But we'll just work alongside, keep the town nice and clean. And it's proposed that that they'll be part of the team. There'll be 2 cleaners, 7 days on, 7 days off. Person will come in and take out. Then there'll be supporting events, things like the car show and events, all that happens in the marketplace and things like that. You've got the job description there, because can you read some of the job description out maybe?
Yeah, so we just said that they'd operate the Glutton's street cleaning machine, sweep and tidy areas not accessible from the machine, clean the exterior public litter bins, just jet wash, identify graffiti, fly tipping, weed and maintain town planters, public toilet caretaking, which will be opening and closing the toilets, cleaning them, restock consumables, etc. Event support, and then seasonal and weather related duties would be grip pavements, pedestrian areas, doing icy or adverse weather conditions, and work with other staff, provide on-site cleaning and waste management.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
We've got the money in the budget for this, presumably, have we? Or
We will, yes,
We will,
yeah, we will.
yeah.
It's important to say it's a year
Well, we said
Yeah, follow
12 months fixed contract, so we can review it in 12 months.
Yeah, because the employment rules have changed.
Yeah, I have put that in there, that it will be reviewed. After 12 months to see, you know, whether we need to carry on. The post is offered on a fixed term basis, 12 months. Continuation beyond this period will be subject to review and operational requirements.
Do we need to vote on this?
Yes, please.
So,
And it's worth saying that there'd be a saving from the toilet cleaning.
6,000 to clean the toilets.
Yes, because we won't be paying a cleaner, we pay 6,500 for that at the moment.
brilliant. Okay, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? So I propose, do you want to?
I think, well, you propose it,
Yeah,
I
I
second.
propose that we go for this, for a 6-month fixed term contract. Second, and all in favour? Yep. Yeah. Well done. Right. No, I don't know whether we all go to this. 195, to discuss and consider the storage container options for the cemetery following a site visit with the delivery company.
The Stone came out and had another look for the container, and we've now realised that it's not as easy as they thought it was. It would include to have a road closure, with the big, and it would take 4 or 5 hours to do. So what we're thinking is, again, 12 months, things could change. We do need somewhere to put equipment. Stone could offer us a storage container at theirs, with a little bit extra space, for £100 a month.
Yeah.
And we could do that for a year initially to see how that went, and then if we needed to find more land or a new shed.
We might, sorry, we might have to look at the idea of having a preformed agricultural type building which can be erected properly in the ground.
That, or there might be more land that we can
Yeah.
put it on, depending what happens with devolution. It was an option to use the inside of the chapel, but we don't want to do that.
So can I propose that we use the storage facilities at
We rent a storage facility from Wakefield.
Right, so all in favour of that?
Yeah.
You put your own lock on it. When you get code to the gate, Liz.
Fine. Yeah.
John's overthinking it.
Half of, half of what we're going to pay for the storage container.
2.5.
And that will be within, it's accessible.
Well, you've got to have somewhere to put the equipment that's safe.
Do you want to?
No, yeah,
Are you saying
at the moment. No.
And that's a monthly, so we can, we can do it
You
for
can
3
change
6
it,
months,
yeah,
say
if we get
actually
something
that's
comes
not
up.
working, or yeah.
It's just important that they've got somewhere secure, isn't it? So keep the valuable stuff. Right, the 196 to review and adopt town council policies, the procurement policy and procedure. So there's no changes to that. So are we happy to accept? Policy?
Right. I think this raises some questions because like, we were talking about the cemetery road. I think that needs a lot of work to it. It needs, what we need is some professional consultant engineering advice on a lot of these issues. Particularly because in here, we say a work specification, a professional detailed specification of works is required. Right, specification isn't what the contractor thinks up, it's what you think up, or it's something that's bespoke for the job, or it's a generic one that a professional consultant could help us with to define that. Could work up a generic one if we've got a lot of these types of works, but I think we aren't sticking to that principle. I mean, it came that work down at the cemetery came in just under 25,000. I think we're probably going to have to spend more than 25,000 on that road in any case. But that's where we will need advice. There's with the best will in the world, you're not an expert, are you, Helen? You do need professional advice at times. We call on it. We get architects in.
Yeah, we discussed it on Monday and I think you're going out to.
So,
Yeah, and
whatever-
also like with the toilets, we need to know.
yeah, we will need
exactly,
architects to help us there.
Yeah.
And as a principle, you see, it says additional costs may be charged to cover fees, but I say a relevant professional person or practice, not an architect or quantity surveyor. It could be a consulting engineer, for instance. So change that bit. And I was also going to say, where it comes to looking after the works, to supervising it, there again, you need someone professional to do that. Now, there are the person to do that in my career in engineering has been that you have a clerk of works who's knowledgeable and is qualified and will oversee works for you. There are agencies for clerks of works, and they will oversee those works and certify that it's done in the manner that's required. So I think we've got also allow for that. It will increase costs, but it's better to have those assurances rather than get some work that some contractors told you, oh, this will do. I've got a warranty here. It goes out of business next year. It all falls apart the year after. So I think professional help is the way we need to go.
So should we change the wording in that and bring that back to council?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you take it to assets
Okay,
at the
yeah,
end of
yeah,
the month
yeah.
and review it.
yeah,
It's
that's
just-
review. Okay, yeah.
Just a matter of
Oh, sorry.
interest, sorry.
Yeah, I agree in principle what you said, John, but you're adding a big cost to any project we're doing. And I think perhaps you ought to say it's projects over a set amount, you know, because you don't want to be putting that into, and we have to do that to every single little thing we do. You know, I think you could end up with tens of thousands a year added to our costs if that was the case. I think, yes, on big projects, we should get professional advice. I agree that, but not on minor things.
No.
You know, I think we all got brains in our heads and we know when something's right and when it's not right, don't we? You know, like the church, you could say, right, what are you going to do at the church? You know, do you want us, somebody to come in and look at that? You know, first before we do it, it could be really sort of a lot of money in the long run.
Should I look into it and we'll take it to
Yes,
assets?
I think so. I'm not talking about doing that. You could have like generic.
John.
Well, I was just going to add to this, in the days when we were an urban authority, we had a clerk of works because we were dealing with lots of major projects all the while, but we're in a different situation
Yes,
there.
it
We've
is.
got our own management, outside management team. Maybe they aren't qualified in some of
No,
these large
I
things,
think John's right, definitely the Cemetery Road.
but we don't have that many big projects to have
No,
to have that concern.
So,
That's my opinion.
so we need to identify what value we need to
yeah.
to get people in for advice. So any proposal? Sorry.
So I agree with John. I agree with what Paul said as well. I said you need to agree a figure of say £10,000. Anything over that, then we need to get professional advice in. 10,000 is just.
So,
I think we'll take it to assets.
Yeah.
You would think assets.
Yeah, well, I don't think you have to have a figure. You can agree on its job.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it depends on the
I
job,
think so.
whether you've got the expertise available or you haven't, and you take a view. Because a lot of these jobs we
Take
haven't.
the issue to assets
Yeah.
and then we'll flush
Yeah.
out from there.
I think it's job on job. I'd say.
Yeah, and you'll develop a relationship with some of these consultants who just give you off the cuff advice sometimes on these smaller jobs if they get involved in bigger jobs.
Well, we have got that relationship with Cliveden now from when we do like the butter cross and
Yeah.
things. So yeah.
So that'll go to assets and then come back
Review.
to full council, yeah? Right, 197 finance, to receive receipts for the December. Put these up, or has everybody read them?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Are they?
So you can vote on that.
Uh,
So to approve.
Payments,
Sorry.
you go through payments.
Yeah.
Receipts, 841 to Cloudy IT. Are you fine?
You do
But-
receipts or payment?
Sorry?
Receipts were on at the moment.
Sorry, I can't.
Receipts.
Receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
They
questions?
do
on
receive
Oh,
receipts?
payments.
okay.
What do you want, John?
Right, okay.
He's waiting next.
No questions on receipts, so payments then.
Next.
Nothing on receipts.
Now, John.
I don't mind money coming in.
Payments.
It's money going out.
So to approve the payments of accounts, January 2026. Right.
It's just Cloudy IT. Now, I don't know if you experience it, but sometimes I try and pick up my email and it goes extraordinarily slowly. Is there something wrong? You know, is it through their servers, I guess, or?
No, we never have any problems. It could, is it your Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it's all right. If I plug in the LAN lot.
Yeah, no, ours is like,
Mine's rubbish at the moment. Internet and everything's just.
yeah, no, ours
Horrendous
is
at the minute.
instant, literally instant. No.
Any other questions on payments?
Yeah, 849, a payment for a vehicle sale. What?
So,
We had to pay for a vehicle sale.
Yeah, that was the lease, when you,
Oh, I see.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right. And I found out what the outdoor equipment was.
It was this one.
It's the
Like,
machine.
yeah.
Isn't it? Right, that's it. Thank you.
so, is everybody happy to approve the payments?
Yeah.
Yes.
John's happy, we're all happy.
Now I've got to, you know,
No, if there's something not right, then we won't agree, because you know you're right.
Right, so 1973 to approve bank reconciliation up to the date of agenda. Is everybody happy with that?
yeah. Reconciliation. It's not on the,
Yeah, it's.
it's not there. On
And what number it is, Jen?
I have seen it.
It's,
ends after receipts. Mind you, we had it on Monday, didn't we?
Right, so 198 to agree the date of the next full council meeting, Wednesday, the 11th of February, 6:30. So thank you all.